Welcome to today's walkthrough of the Tarot de Besançon, Gaudais, Paris, 1870. A fascinating reproduction deck brought to life by Scarabeo's Anima, Antiqua series. Step back in time to the rich folkloric world of the 19th century tarot, where the iconic Juno and Jupiter take centre stage in place of the Pope and Popess. This 78 card deck is a treasure trove of history, blending the artistry of the Basançon tarot tradition with the expert craftsmanship of modern reproduction. Join me as we explore the charming hand-coloured woodblock style and discover why this deck continues to captivate collectors, historians, and tarot enthusiasts alike. Let's begin our journey through the past with the Tarot de Besançon, Gaudais, Paris, 1870. Help me ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. Hope everybody's doing well and having a good start to the week, our 10 of Cups week. Yeah, I'm back with another video. I am mindful that I've been putting out quite a few videos at the moment, so I just hope it's not overkill or what's that phrase? Familiarity breeds contempt. And yesterday I uploaded 2 in one day, and I don't usually do that. I did a walkthrough video of the Fairy Tale Oracle, and then last night as I was doing my cards, I remembered that I said I would show my reading space, and it was relatively tidy and organised. So I took advantage of that and uploaded that video as well. And I was going to delay it to go out to tonight, but I really want to start using this deck because it looks great. From the initial peep at this deck that I did with Cheryl during Spotlight, this is the Tarot de Besançon, Gaudais, Paris, 1870. It's an historical reproduction, and it's part of Scarabeo's Anima, Antiqua series, which focuses on faithfully reproducing antique and rare tarot decks, and I am all for that. I wish I knew at the time that that's what they were doing, because there's a couple that I think have been missed, that I missed over the years, like the Soprafino, although I do have that from Il Meneghello. And that's the other thing I love. In the past, and I still do because I've got 2 decks on order at the moment, from one's a backup, the Vacchetta. 2 decks on order from Il Meneghello, but to get historical reproductions, that was kind of like the only option. So having a mass market company like Scarabeo doing this antique Anima, Antiqua is brilliant, because there's quite a few copies. There's 4,000 all but one, 3,999. And this is, as I said, it's a Basançon, which basically means that kind of lineage of tarot decks, the Basançon, replaces the Pope and Popess with Juno and Jupiter. And that was to reflect a more secular or kind of mythological approach that was common for the time and in certain regions. They didn't want to offend the church. This is a beautiful box. It's the first one of the Anima range that is a rose petal finish. I know not everybody likes that, but I'm such a tactile person. It feels beautiful. And I thought at first, feeling this beautiful finish, that maybe the cards are rose petal as well, but they're not. It's just a finish that they've put on the box. The box design is lovely. You can see some of the cards here on the back. Here's our Fool. Just really, really nice. You know, these new style 2-part boxes that those Scarabeo do are really nice and compact and very sturdy. So big up the packaging. We do get a little book. It's a strange little book, but it's got these kind of bits which is really useful for place holders for pages. There's not a lot in there at all. There's no card interpretations. It's just telling you about the deck. So as you can see, English is only from 3 to 8, 8 to 30. So 5 pages about the deck itself, its history, etc. Let's bring the camera down. That should be better for focusing. So this is rose petal finish, which is the certificate of authenticity. This is number 849. Cheryl and I laugh because my number tends to be lower than hers each time. But anyway, so yeah, so we get the certificate telling you it's a numbered edition, limited to 3,999 copies, and this is copy number 849. And then again, some information about the Tarot de Basançon Gaudais. And it was released in April 2025. So I almost said last month, but we're in June now, on the 2nd day of June. These are the backs, which are nice. So the cards have a sheen. They're silky. They're not, I wouldn't say a gloss, but I wouldn't say matte, like a rough matte. They have that silky, they have a lamination to them. Really nice. They're quite small compared to a standard tarot, as you can see. So narrower and smaller. I guess these might even be classed as like not a mini deck, but perhaps a pocket, or I don't know, but they're a lot smaller, as you can see. The deck, you know, really does preserve the original woodblock style printing, and it has that charmingly naive line work and colour application, which I love for these kind of 19th century tarot decks. And it has a distinctive, almost folkloric feel compared to some of the other Marseille decks as well. So, I mean, in terms of the structure of the deck, it does follow the traditional 78 tarot structure, 22 major arcana, 56 minor arcana. What you'll notice as well is we have this reversed image for each card, so it is kind of split, which is interesting, isn't it? Because that means no reversals either, because you wouldn't know if that was reversed or not. There's nothing to tell you that on the back, and the number appears in each corner and the details are the same. You kind of get like a diagonal line through each one, so it's not straight through the middle, it's like this diagonal, which is reminiscent of playing cards as well, for courts, the courts in playing cards, and that's the same here. It doesn't apply when we get to pips, just for the majors and the courts. Yeah, and I think it's really unusual, and it really appeals to me. I really like it. They're not on a stark white background, which again is, for me, quite a bonus. It gives it that antique, aged, make sure there's enough light here, aged feel to it. This is from the front of the box. And you'll see the peacock, which we often see with Juno. I think, and the line work is absolutely fantastic. It's very detailed. Very often with woodblock, you get it quite clumsy. But you know, this isn't at all. And here's Jupiter, again replacing the Pope card. Our lovers, Chariot. So of course we're following a Marseille style. So we have 8. The Justice card. Look at the Hermit. I love the candle and the flame, the red flame. Strength at 11. This is the one that I find a little bit bizarre. Because we've got a headless hangman, because of how the image, you know, to do this kind of inverted image, then yeah, we're going to miss his head and shoulders, aren't we? Death. This is a very happy looking devil. He's got demons with him. The Tower. The face in the sun there on the Tower card. Love this moon. I mean, I do feel that these are, I am going to use them. Just like I'm using my Vachetta now after years of not using it, because I think sometimes these are viewed as collector's items, and they are, you know, historical reproductions are very often, particularly when they're limited in number, are seen as collector's items due to their faithful reproduction and historical significance. But for me, you know, I'm going to get my use out of it as well. So our Ace of Cups here has the J. Gaudais Paris. They're very soft. The colours are muted a little bit, and we just got the primary red, blue, yellow. And again, there are no Roman numerals, no numbers. I mean, once you work with a deck, you kind of see it very quickly that that's the 10. I suppose it might become a little bit, you know, you'd have to be like, but yeah, my brain adds that up very quickly as 8. But just to point that out, and there's no titles on the court cards either. But I mean, I suppose that could be confused as a king, but the king's got a big hat. A horse for our cavalier. Again, the initial there, JG. Very often with the 2 of Pentacles, we see the kind of title and publication year and things like that in this design, but not with that one, with this one. We do have green now added for the coins. Now our page has got the big hat. I think it's easier to see the who's the king. Our clubs or batons. Now these do have Roman numerals. That's interesting, isn't it? For our swords and batons, yeah, but the cups and pentacles don't. That's fine. I've seen that before many times actually in historical decks. And never be afraid to try reading pips. I just think, you know, here's 8. So 8 for me is a really powerful number. It's about abundance. And then, you know, you're just taking the elemental, for me, the elemental association of they said the wands, the clubs, which is the fire suit. And that's your starting off point. Our sword, look how beautiful that is. Look how it's illustrated. Very detailed. Gorgeous. King of Swords. Really nice deck. Yeah, I really like it. I just realised as I was just going through those last few cards, it was quite, I don't think it was very helpful me saying, oh, you know, there's the 8 and that means attainment. So without giving it a little bit more. So for me, and if you're watching this, and you're not too sure about numerology, I will go through what they mean for me. And this is going to be different for a lot of people, depending on what you've read or who you've studied with, etc. But for me, 1 is, and this is the cup suit, so it's about our emotions. But 1 is the beginning, so the start of something, or the potential that something has. 2 is always about balance, you know, imagine like 2 wheels on a bike balancing, and again balancing your emotions. So this is your starting off point. It can also be about duality and polarity. 3 is growth and expansion. 4 is stability, order, structure. And I've often talked about the 4 as like 4 legs on a chair. It gives you stability. It's not going to be wobbly with 4 legs, and you've got that structure. 5 is change. So when 5 comes along, something is changing, and it's usually quite a disruptive change as well. Following the disruptive change, then things start to settle down and we go into harmony. I also see 6s as victory, particularly if you think of the RWS. 7 is new growth. You know, we had growth for 3, but after the change and the harmony, then you don't want to become stagnant. So you have new growth, usually fueled by inner convictions. 8 is power, as I mentioned, and abundance as well. Attainment for 9, and that sort of evolution, and then 10 is your completion, that wholeness, and coming together, the unity. So that's how I work with pip decks, and then obviously bring in the elements that's associated and what those elements represent. All right, I hope that was useful. Thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts on the deck or any other of the Los Scarabeos, Anima, Antiqua decks. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Until next time, go in peace, namaste, and blessed be.